The Mighty Whites podcast is recorded at the Medicine Room Studios. For more information, visit medicineroomstudios.com.
Hi, and welcome back to the Mighty Whites podcast, episode 27, and this is a proper season preview with all those predictions and stuff. Basically, setting ourselves up for embarrassment by the time the end of the season comes around. Once again, joined by Casey.
Hello.
It's weird because I want to take the piss out of your predictions for last year, but you technically won.
I am making the worst prediction of all of them, and yet coming out on top. That's a classic KC move right there.
I'm sure that there's a Brexit joke in there somewhere. But I was going to say, we did as normal thing with the last podcast. We recorded it, work got in the way, so it took a couple of days to get it out, and in the meantime...
everything happened.
Yeah. So we'll get through it all, because, there's only so long that we want to keep everyone. Started out, they confirmed the Bamford deal. Now, we did get to talk about that a fair bit, because it had broken that it was going to happen. But yeah, 7 million, maybe going up to 10, 4-year deal. Said it was a no-brainer to join Leeds. Real chance to be the main striker, which is the main thing that he's looking forward to from it by the sounds of it. So are you pleased?
Yeah, his record hasn't been the best, but we did need an out-and-out striker to lead the line. I do look at when he said it was a no-brainer to join Leeds, in as much as he wasn't really going to be playing that much for Middlesbrough. So, I don't know what other interest there was in him, but it's a decent signing. I'll take it. Yeah,
and he was joined. This one didn't break until the next day, so we knew nothing about it going in. But Jack Harrison on loan from Manchester City. We did talk a little bit about him last season when he joined Middlesbrough, and he didn't really get a chance there, but, young player, quick, likes to run at people. Apparently cuts inside onto his left foot a lot. On Through It All Together, they asked the New York City SB Nation site, Hudson River Blue, about him, and they were praising him to high heaven.
That's good. He's looked all right. I've seen a little bit of him because he's been with Man City playing in America. I think the final game he played before he came to us was playing against Bayern Munich, and I know it's reserve teams a lot of the time, but a very good signing again. We definitely need a winger. We need something a little bit different, and it'd be quite nice to have that extra option. And between him and Jack Clark as well, you could have a player on each wing cutting inside and getting some shots in as well if you wanted.
Yeah, I don't think Clark will get a chance straight away, but I reckon he'll play against Bolton in cup.
Yeah, but yeah, again, like you say, I think in terms of, and I think it's an issue we've had for a little while, is we kind of lacked pace, and then we brought Sacco in, but he had the pace, but not necessarily the quality. So he can come in and take on players, like you say, cut inside and get a few more shots on goal. If we can have the wingers grabbing a couple more goals this season, I think it'd be a big boost for us. Yeah,
it sounds like he's got a lot of similarities to the confident version of Alioski, which we haven't seen for a while.
I'll take that. Yeah, I think for me that the height of Alioski was beating Middlesbrough at home last season when he had George Friend in his pocket the whole time. And I think, unfortunately, with the way we performed, I don't think you ever really you didn't get to see too much of the best of Alioski on a consistent basis. But between you've got Alioski, Hernandez, Harrison, Dallas. Like you say, you got Clark, who's there, who can play on the wing. We've got a few options now, which is quite nice. And like you say, I think with the style we're going to be playing under Bielsa, I think we need those options there for rotating.
There we have Casey treading all over the preview of our attacking options that were Through It All Together, which is at throughitalltogether.sbnation.com.
There you go.
Yeah, one of the good things is, did you see Guardiola went out of his way to praise Harrison? He was saying that he's had a really good pre-season in America and he was really rated, but he said Leeds is a perfect move for him and he'll do well under Bielsa.
Yeah, it's great that it's not just... you see so many now players going out between Man City, Chelsea, they're going out on loan that, it's not like you hear their managers naming them all the time, and giving their thoughts on them. So it's quite nice to hear Jack Harrison actually get a mention as he's come over to us.
I have a theory actually that Chelsea's manager doesn't know who half of them are.
No, but I don't think any of them have. Just looks and gone, what have we got? 6 of them in Belgium, 3 are in Holland, a couple in the Czech. Okay.
Chelsea are in on the joke now. Did you see they've sent that 36-year-old keeper Eduardo to VS Arnhem?
Oh, I hadn't seen that.
They're fully self-aware of the joke.
It's impressive, but it's good that Guardiola is aware of him and must be giving him some level of consideration for the future anyway.
Yeah, we will. He isn't an in, but we will mention it now. We've been linked quite heavily with Matthew Pennington returning, another loan deal.
Okay, that's what I think of that.
Yeah, he's. I mean, he's got the potential to be fine, but he really didn't. He really didn't fill me with confidence last season.
He's got the potential to be fine. Yeah, I've seen in glimpses he is a solid defender at times, but I don't know. He was hampered a little bit by injuries last season, which, if that kind of continues into next season, would be an issue as well. It'll be interesting to see the defensive lineup for the Stoke game. I know we'll get onto it because we really don't have many first-choice centre-back options.
That's very true. We'll go through some of the outs as well, because, we'll come on to the team properly when we talk about Stoke game. But there's been a few outs as well since the last podcast.
Some tears have been shed over some of these names.
Yeah, and chief among the tears, it's awful when your club loses a really gifted central midfielder. Just an amazing player who you really think could be the man to lead the club to glory. But Luke Murphy has gone to Bolton.
Luke Murphy is no longer that man.
My boy is gone.
Yeah, it was definitely coming. I think it was one of those when I was looking, I just thought, oh, he's got another year left on his contract as well. He's not getting bought anytime soon. Yeah, he'll be. There's a decent player in there in Luke Murphy. I think the Burton seemed to like him, but then obviously going down, I think, kind of hampered their chance of getting him in with wages. Is he probably a bottom end championship player at this point? You'd probably say so.
Yeah, I think he'll do well at Bolton, even if Bolton don't do well.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment.
Yeah, the main thing that I try and take with Murphy is, and as I have a bias towards Luke Murphy, I always have. I just really like him. I don't know why. He's just one of them players that I've always had a soft spot for. But he isn't good enough to play for Leeds. He just isn't. But he had I like to just go back and remember his start, his last minute winner against Brighton, that wasn't handball even slightly. And he played some decent stuff in that good run we had under Redfern when we beat Bournemouth at home and we beat teams at top at league. Always worked hard, took a pay cut to stay. So if nothing else, he seems like a nice bloke.
Yeah, he had his spell, and like you say, it was a great debut, and it's unfortunate that he kind of couldn't really maintain any level of form with us. He probably came in at the worst time as well during that GFH spell, and when he came in, Noel Hunt came in, and we still had a number of the Warnock players around then as well. It wasn't a great time for him to be coming into Leeds, and still, I'm guessing probably before. I'm trying to think who was the last £1 million player we bought before Luke Murphy. Was it Cresswell?
It might have been. I know that it was from the previous championship time.
I'm guessing it's either Healy or Cresswell.
I think Cresswell came in after Healy.
Yeah.
I think. I'm not 100%.
But yeah, so he kind of came in with that on over his shoulders as well, as the first £1 million player we'd bought in a while. I wish him all the best. Apart from upsetting Mark Young during the League Cup game.
He upset me. Should have got sent off twice.
It's bad when you look at your own play and go, Jesus, he should be off.
I maintain that because Luke Murphy is an all-round great guy, that he was getting sent off on purpose so we'd lose, so that Hockaday would get sacked.
He was doing it for the greater good.
Greater good.
Yeah.
He's not the only nice guy not good enough to play for Leeds who has left this week. Hadi Sakho's gone to Las Palmas on loan for the season.
Yeah, that's fine. I assume it's just another way of getting him off the wage, or getting part of his wage bill reduced for a season. Clearly not good enough. We saw enough times last season. He'll always have Burnley.
Yeah.
But yeah, that aside, he was so ineffective in games, even coming off the bench. His end product is just non-existent. It was interesting to see him go to Las Palmas because they're part of the group, aren't they? Part of the group associated with Aspire as well.
I don't know. I mean, I know that culturally Nessa are, but
if I remember rightly, Las Palmas are as well. And I think I know this through Football Manager. I could be wrong.
It's possible because it'd explain why we had a friendly with them and stuff like that. So
yeah, I think that's where that. I don't know if that's the reason why that's happened, but I know there is the link there anyway.
Yeah, he may not show enough on the pitch, but there is one thing that is in no doubt, and that's his excellent Twitter game. Before the move was even announced, he just tweeted out, "How do you say square it in Spanish?" You know.
I think the worrying thing though is to be that self-aware of your problems in football when that is the main attribute you are lacking.
I don't know. I'm aware I'm fat. You know, it just.
But you're not getting paid several £1,000s a week.
You don't know.
I mean, I've got a rough idea of your wages. You're doing a lot better than I am, but you know, there's children begging on the streets of Budapest that are doing better than I'm doing. I don't know why I chose Budapest.
I was going to ask.
just happened. Because he's 24, 25 now. You get to the point that you should have got past this now, and clearly he hasn't. So
yeah.
Good luck to him.
Yeah. We released him a while ago. Lonergan signed for Middlesbrough. Good for him. The main event of the sales, and this is the one that I've left to last because it might take a while. Ronaldo Vieira. He's gone to Sampdoria for a fee that's apparently £7.7 million and could rise up to 10. It was going to be a very different debate about it until... Have you seen Radrizzani's interview today?
I haven't, no. So this is going to be interesting.
This is the very brief Cliff Notes version. But basically, he said that the club, quotes, cannot buy and not sell. And this was a sacrifice that was required. The club needed a striker and a left wing back far more than we needed a central midfielder. Bielsa said he wanted to keep Vieira because he's a good player and he thinks he could be worth double that fee in a year or two. But Bielsa also said to Radrizzani that Vieira wasn't likely to be in the starting lineup. So he's basically gone, look, we needed to get rid of someone. He did say at the end of this that it leaves us room to be able to get a couple more in if the opportunity arises. But he's basically admitted that he was sold to balance the books, basically.
I'm really not happy with it. I honestly just think we got a player who's won the under-20s World Cup with England. Very promising, been in and out of the team. He's been in the team from a young age. It's part of a team that not always the best, you know, especially the runs we were on last season. So, you know, you could list every central midfielder we played last season. You can't particularly, you know, hold it against him. I think a young, fairly inexperienced player coming in, and he was still doing a much better job than Eunan O'Kane was. And the numbers, when you've written the numbers down, it says for a fee of 7.7 million, apparently rising to 10, which does, you know, I'm not great at maths, but does roughly cover the Bamford deal, which I don't know. You know, we did need a striker, but I really hope we've got a good sell-on clause in there or something like that where we can get some more money out of the deal, because to be selling one of our young central midfielders again, that's got still 3-4 years left to develop. It's very disappointing.
Yeah, I'm going to prefix this by saying I didn't want us to sell him, but I'm not as up in arms as some people are.
My arms are very up.
Yeah. Yeah, mine are more level with my shoulders, more of a Jesus Christ pose.
Sorry, when you said it at first, I thought they were out in front of you, so I was thinking zombie, and then when you said Jesus, I was like, okay.
Yeah, again, I wouldn't have sold him, but a lot of... Basically, it isn't to make sure the club makes a big profit, it's to make sure it doesn't make a big loss. So, business-wise, it's not great, but I can understand it. We have got rid of Vieira, who was probably going to be on the bench. And with that money, we've got in my opinion, the best left wing back in the league. And we've got a centre forward that we desperately needed. So I don't think it's the worst trade-off in the world, as much as I like Vieira. I also think Vieira was pretty poor last season, for the most part. I think he looked poor in pre-season. He's never going to be able to play that deep midfielder role because I don't think he's like Forshaw has played, because I don't think his passing's good enough for it. When he dropped into centre-back, he looked incredibly uncomfortable. He is only 20, but he's already got a history of knee problems. I would have preferred not to have sold him, but I can understand why they did it if I'm playing devil's advocate.
Can you stop being so reasonable about this? I'm trying to be mad over here.
Sounds like conversations that you hear in a pub, that.
Can you stop using logic?
Can prove anything with facts.
Yeah, I think it's more the seeing someone who, I know he's not even spent that much time in the academy, but has kind of come in as a youngster and coming to the first team. Like you say, he didn't have a good season last season, but the only central midfielder who did was Adam Forshaw, and he only played 5 games.
I think that's one of the things that makes it worse. I don't think that... I'm annoyed too. I don't think I'd be as annoyed if Forshaw wasn't injured.
Yeah, and I think the problem is saying... The problem I probably have with Bielsa saying that he would be coming off the bench is that...
to be fair, Bielsa in his press conference did go out of his way to say, I did not want to lose him, he's a good player.
Yeah, I saw that. But I just think the logic of he's going to be on the bench, that is entirely dependent on players' form, on injuries. If Ideguchi comes into the side, and
I would be amazed if you see Ideguchi.
But again, now of all these central midfielders we've made it fairly clear that there's no space in this squad for Yunan O'Kane. Ideguchi's probably not going to be all that involved. Phillips has played centre back. Forshaw's injured.
Hashtag. Click news.
There you go. Click and Murphy. It could have been the dream.
Yeah.
Could have had that dream partnership. It just seems. It's disappointing that it's happened.
Oh, it's very disappointing. He's a good young player.
I think the reasoning behind it is sound. It's just disappointing.
It's one of those that makes fairly good business sense. It doesn't make all that great football sense. And we're always going to see it from the football side first.
There was something very odd about seeing his first game for Sampdoria being played at Aldershot, though. Yeah,
that was weird. It was weird how he travelled back with the team and landed. You know, going, hang on, why are you flying into the country when it hasn't been announced we've sold you yet?
And then, it's like, who are we playing first? Fulham. I did that last season. Like, I hope he has a great season. I think he might be quite well suited to Italian football at this stage of his career. A little bit slower, probably a little bit less frantic. I'll probably give him a little bit more time on the ball. And I hope it works out for him.
Yeah. Based off the way they've been on Twitter, Sampdoria haven't signed him for a footballer. They've signed him for a marketing exercise. Did you see their tweet with it?
I haven't seen it, no.
You know the tweet that the black and white Ronaldo picture that Juventus used to announce him?
Oh, yes, I did see
Ronaldo.
that.
And it's that, only it just says Vieira in little letters at the bottom.
I did see that. That was interesting.
Yeah,
That's nice. I quite like some of these things have been pretty inventive. You'll still find, I think it'll still be tough to top the Stuart Taylor re-signing his contract with Southampton video. But, you know, I quite like some of these things that are going on now.
yeah. It's not a great link, but it'll do. Speaking of young players at Leeds who have been shipped off to other places, did you see the interview with J. Roy Grott in the Dutch press?
Yes, it was a nice chance for me to brush up on my Dutch, actually.
Yeah. Isn't that weird?
Yes.
But yeah, just saying that he lost a lot of confidence at Leeds and found it, and that led to him feeling less fit and stuff, which sounds a bit like having anxiety attacks to an uneducated person like me.
Yeah.
He found it hard to adapt to living with Leeds. He was always coming home to an empty house, which was the line that got a bit of traction on Twitter, because people, and there is truth to this, there was a lot of people who are like, well, the club needs to be doing more, and they probably do. But even he said that a lot of that's on him, because he didn't try and make friends with everyone. He was just staying at home.
I suppose I don't know much about his personal life. I'm guessing he didn't have a girlfriend or anything when he signed, so he's just moved over as a 19-year-old lad. And I think that is one of those things. Yeah, if you're coming over at that age and coming into a new country, and yes, I suppose knowing Holland, his English probably won't have been all that bad, but
It's probably better than
there
ours.
you go. Oh yeah, but you know, there you go. That's the city centre apartment. Off you go play football now. And I think it's a problem that football's had a lot. And I know with the bigger clubs, typically you'll have companies, or you'll have a couple of people at your club who it is their job to make sure everyone settles in. Well, when you arrive, you'll basically have like a choice of 4 cars. You'll have 4 or 5 houses lined up for you to view. You'll have English speaking lessons arranged for you already. That person will spend time with you. That will take you out and show you around. And I suppose once you get to the championship, that sort of thing probably doesn't exist.
At least not to the same level.
No, I imagined, there was probably someone from the club who, greeted him off the plane, escorted him into Leeds, and said, "This is your hotel you'll be staying in. Once you're finished, then once you've found a house, then let us know, and we will finish the, cancel the appointment there or whatever." So yeah, I can imagine why it'll have been very difficult for him.
Yeah. He's also one of the first footballers I've heard admit that like the stuff on Twitter really got to him, which he said wasn't fair. But he also said it's not like he's shirking responsibility. Like he did say that if there was 9 people saying he's a young lad, give him time, and 1 person saying he's just shy, it was that one that he focused on. And it led to a bit of a debate about what you should say about players on Twitter. I've always had the thing of don't tweet shitty things at a player. Don't tag it. Like, I'm allowed to go on Twitter if I've watched J. Roy Grott play badly and go and put Grott was absolutely awful today. But if I put at J. Roy Grott, whatever, I don't know what his Twitter handle is. If I put at J. Roy Grott was awful today, that's going out of your way.
Yeah, and I think
if he vanity searches himself, I don't have that much sympathy with that.
From that, it doesn't sound like he's that sort of person, though. I don't think anyone's vanity searching themselves. I don't think anyone, and especially him, he didn't get the best reception at games at the best of times.
That was the bit of it that I didn't like. There was one game where he got whistled and kind of booed on.
I think we kind of talked about early doors that he hadn't looked great, and then it just got to a point where you just feel bad for him now.
He did get pulled out of the firing line eventually, and then brought back and put into it at the end of the season when him and Lasogga were having the worst sub-appearances in living memory. But early in the season, after 2 games, you could say he wasn't ready yet. That was when he needed pulling out of the firing line.
And it took far too long for us to think, I'll just put him with the under-23s for a couple of months. Just let him play there, get some game time, get a few goals, And because I think his first under-23 game, he scored. He might have got a couple.
Yeah, I think it was away at Hull, if I remember right.
But yeah, and you just think, it got to be upsetting as a Leeds fan at times. When he's just like, why are we just doing this poor lad now? Send Lasogga out. He was getting paid enough. He didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll come on to him later, actually.
Oh, okay.
I've got a thing about him. Obviously, Grot playing him in the 23s did a bit better. He's out on loan now, so hopefully he does well at Venlo and comes back. But speaking of the under-23s, they did have a friendly against Taddy Albion the other night. They won 6-1, and by the sounds of it, were very, very impressive. I didn't get to go over and see it. I was at work. But Bobby Camwood, Jordan Stevens, Alex Woollerton, Sam Dolby, Kun Temenushkov, and Alfie McCalmont all scored. Apparently, McCalmont had a really good game. A lot of people said.
I mean, just in terms of Stevens, Dolby, and Temenushkov, there's the three promising names there of youngsters who all had decent seasons last season. Yeah, it's good to see them getting a few, quite nice seeing a team score 6 and each one's a different goal scorer as well. But one of the things I think we kind of have had to revise probably over the last year or so is kind of some of the players that have come in to the under-23s through Orta. And, if you get one or two of those that come into the first team and make any impact, then I think it does kind of change the whole story on him and his recruitment for the under-23s.
Yeah, I forgot to make a note of it actually, but did you see the little half-hour Sky documentary on Leeds?
No, I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. I've got a link to it, but I just haven't had a chance yet.
I won't go for it because, to be honest, there's not actually that much. For the most part, it's a re-voice over of clips you've already seen for LUTV. It's a little bit. It is a fine watch. It does fine. There's nothing groundbreaking in it. Orta came off quite well, which got him a bit of credit with some fans. A lot of things he said, admitting that he wasn't. His strike rate wasn't good enough last season and stuff like that. So he does seem to know. But that under-23 side were praised a lot by the Taddy Albion coaches. Simon Collins, who was like head of coaching for that eye-to-eye that work with him, said it's one of the best under-23 teams he's ever seen. And their manager, Michael Morton, is quite interesting because he's taken the job of a lead youth development phase coach at Leeds, but he's being Tadcaster Albion boss at the same time.
It was quite interesting. I quite like reading the statement they put out about that, just saying, he might be late to a couple of training sessions, but it won't really affect his position at Tadcaster, which is good because I think it's quite nice to be still involved in that competitive side of things for him as a manager, where he'll get to develop his skills both as a manager of fairly young players, but a few older players as well with Albion, as well as kind of improving your youth development skills. It's quite, and I think from what it seemed like a dream job for him as well. Yeah,
because it made a point of mentioning that he's a Leeds fan and all of that stuff, didn't it?
Yeah, it'll probably do him good as a coach. He's kind of getting the best of both worlds, working with youth teams and still coaching the men's team as well, and working with a big age range in there. Was it eye-to-eye that Ronaldo and Romario Vieira came through as well?
After they'd had their spells abroad, that was where they got picked up from.
Yeah, so they've. I think it's quite a good little partnership there with eye-to-eye and Tadcaster as well.
Yeah, because they will have had no contract and stuff, they probably don't get one in writing. But I'd like to think they get a little bit of a kickback out of the Vieira deal, even if it's only a little bit, like a few grand just to help them running. Yeah,
you'd think as well and with a team like us who I think puts a lot into youth development, you just think even if Romario didn't make it through, he was part of the under-23s and played fairly regularly. You think, let's give them a little bit of cash to kind of put back into that, so we can. It's almost like kind of putting almost a first option on youth players. Just having a link with them, so we kind of get first option if there are any promising youngsters come through with them.
Yeah. Hopefully they can find us a striker who is better than Pierre-Michel Lasogga.
He's back.
I don't know if you saw this story. Normally I'd just leave him alone because he's gone now. But do you know what I'm going to talk about yet?
I had not seen this at all until just flicking through the notes now.
Right. Yeah. There is to be a reality series produced about Pierre-Michel Lasogga and his family as he returns to Hamburg for their first ever season in Bundesliga 2. If that's got subtitles, I'm watching that.
That's got to end up on BT Sport or something.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for the weird moments between him and his mum. I'm not saying anything's ever happened. I'm just saying I wouldn't be that surprised.
What a strange point to have got to in your life where you think, yep, you know what, I'll have a camera follow me around as a fairly average but overly paid footballer.
It just shows that he does have a giant ego, because it's not like he needs the money. This article that I translated, it had his wages. He's the highest paid player in Bundesliga 2 ever. 3.4 million euros a season, which is £58,250 per week.
Oh, sorry, there's one number that's really stuck out here.
Plus 15 grand a point.
Per point? Who gets paid per point?
And 45,000 a goal is what it said. Now, I don't necessarily buy those numbers, but that's what it said, and it's a reputable media outlet. So they had a thing in there that I didn't note down, but it was something along the lines of, if Hamburg were to get promoted with 70 points and he got 15 goals, he'd come out with like 5.2 million euros for the season.
Jesus.
Yeah. But it's not looking great for him. After 55 years, finally in Bundesliga 2, they played the first match yesterday. Lasogga came off bench and they lost 3-0 at home to Holstein Kiel.
Holstein Kiel sponsored Tottenham in the 90s. I know it's Holstein Pils.
Yeah, I think that was Holstein Pils.
But Jesus Christ, like, wow. Well, welcome to Bundesliga 2.
Yeah. They were basically, the thing they kept saying was that, like, even when, you know, some of the big players have dropped down, they've never been anywhere close to those wages.
I'm guessing from that number as well, there was nothing in his contract about a wage drop if they went down, because that was kind of the figure that was being touted.
Yeah, no, it would appear not.
For us.
They have offered him a new deal, like, because I think he's got 1 year left, and they've offered him like a 3-year contract, but on lower wages. So it's just sat on the desk.
Yeah, good luck to him. Good luck to Hamburg. I won't want to deal with him.
No,
you get sick of him watching him play, 20 odd times a season at home, and then you've got to go home and he's on TV as well. Jesus, you get sick of him very quickly.
Yeah. Speaking of really expensive players, the one that sort of got away over the summer, Abel Hernandez, has signed for CSKA Moscow. It's not normally I would have just mentioned it and that was it, but it sounds like a very Leeds United deal in a way. Because he failed his medical, but they've signed him anyway.
Yeah, Seth Hernandez there.
Yeah. 3 million euros a year. That's 400,000 euros less than Lasogga. But the difference is he has a signing on bonus of 4.5 million euros.
There you go. How much is he getting paid per point?
That it didn't say. But yeah, that's 51.5 grand a week, just over 4 million signing bonus over a 3-year deal. So it averages out to £77,100 per week, and that doesn't include his bonuses.
It's not a bad deal. That's a pretty good deal for failing a medical.
Yeah, it's not bad. But if he got that much after failing a medical, it wouldn't shock me. There was numbers floating around on Twitter from places saying that he was looking for nearly 100 grand a week. If he failed a medical and he's averaging out to nearly 80, it wouldn't shock you. Yeah,
I know because I think when it first got reported, it was fairly confidently said, like, he's failed a medical, but he will still probably sign for CSKA. So, good luck to him. It'd have been great if we could have had him, but we've got Bamford instead, and there's no way we were ever going to be paying anywhere near that.
Yeah. And despite the 7 million fee, it will still work out.
Yeah.
It'll probably work out to be similar numbers, but for someone who's 24 and doesn't have knees made of biscuits.
Knees made of biscuits. That's a new one.
Well, I think we've put it off long enough. I think we should get to the main part of this podcast. Obviously, we'll preview the upcoming games afterwards. But, we need to do our predictions and make ourselves look nice and stupid.
Yep. Yeah, it's that time.
Right. We've got a few. There's the promotion and relegation from all the 4 leagues. There's a couple of cup ones, and then there's the Leeds United ones. But we'll start with League 2. Who have you got getting relegated from League 2, Casey?
I'm not going to lie. I'm looking at my notes now, and I've actually forgotten to pick who's going to get relegated from League 2. So I've got a little Paddy Power up now. It's going to make for a great podcast, this.
He's loading up Paddy Power. That is the expert advice that you literally don't pay for with this podcast. There's a reason it's free, and that's because it should be.
Hey, you don't pay for our insight. We just give it to you anyway.
Whether you want it or not.
All right, let's go. Here we go. So, some bad teams in there. I feel like I did write this out, but anyway, let's go. I'm going to go bottom of the table. I'm going to say Macclesfield Town. 23rd, Morecambe. And
KC there showing his lack of knowledge. Only 2 get relegated from League 2.
Is it? Oh, there you go. All right, I'll go with those 2.
Yeah, flip them 2 round for me. I've got Morecambe bottom, Macclesfield 23rd. So KC's 10 seconds of research came to a very similar conclusion to my 30 seconds of research on that.
It works.
Yeah. And then the 4 that go up from League 2.
So
Has KC written down 3?
I thought it was 5. Oh, this league system's ridiculous. Glad we're out of League 1. No, I've got my 4. So going up in the playoffs, I have Colchester. 3rd, Lincoln. 2nd is Swindon, and winning the league, Notts County.
I've got a couple of them in there. Going up through playoffs, I've got Tranmere. Someone always does well straight from conference, and they've got good support and stuff, so they'll get some players, and I think they'll be good. 3rd, Notts County. They had a really good end to the season last year, and they've kept most of the players. Lincoln City 2nd. Danny Cowley's good, and they've signed John Akinde, who always scores goals in League 2. And top, I've got MK Dons, who should never have got relegated in the first place with team they had.
I just didn't want to give them any credit for anything.
What I'll do is, that's basically the way that we're going to do it is, so for each of them, if you get them right, it's 5 points. And if they're in the right position, it's 10. But what I will say is, if you get them all right, like for instance, I have got a thing of notes with all the points on, which I've forgotten to bring in like an idiot. But like because there's 2 going down from League 2, if you got both of them in the right place, you'd get, instead of 20, you'd get 25 as a bonus for getting it all right. League 2, if you got the right 1, 2, 3 and playoffs, that's 40 points, but you get 50.
The annoying thing would be if I predicted all 4 of these teams to go up and they did, I'd be really disappointed I hadn't put a bet on it. Yeah,
true. But yeah, basically, if there's 3 or 4 of them, you get a bonus 10 points. If there's 2, you get a bonus 5.
Yeah, it seems right. We did put the caveat in this for this season after the what we all now refer to as the Sunderland incident.
Yeah, after you predicting Sunderland to get promoted from the Championship last year, and them coming bottom and you still winning. We do have a new rule. We do have a new rule. If you predict a position and you are wrong by 10 places or more, you lose 10 points. If you're wrong by 20 places, you lose 20 points. And for playoff winners, like for instance, because it's the 3rd team to go up in the Championship, we will count them as 3rd.
Yeah.
In League 2, that'd be 4th. Yeah, at some point, I will knock up, not a spreadsheet, but something to keep track of these later.
Google Docs.
Yeah. But on to League 1. I'll go first on these ones. Relegation-wise, in 24th, I've got Walsall, who weren't great. 23rd, Rochdale. They only stayed up in last minute last year. Their main signing appears to be 39-year-old Aaron Wilbraham. Accrington Stanley in 22nd. I hope they don't go down, but
I couldn't bring myself to do it.
Yeah. And this is one of my first... In fact, I'd say one of my only quite out there ones. They're all kind of middling. But going down in 21st, I've got Shrewsbury, having lost the playoff final last year. They've lost their manager, they've lost some decent players. You always have a bit of a hangover when you lose a playoff final. So I think they're going to fall like a stone this year, and I think they'll go down.
Interestingly, Shrewsbury is the only team that I've got as well. So for me, in 24th, I have Wickham. In 23rd, I have Gillingham, which again just comes from Andy Hessenthaler. 22nd, Shrewsbury, and 21st, Doncaster.
It is weird that we've both got Shrewsbury. Speaking of Hessenthaler's, Jake Hessenthaler left and has gone somewhere else, but I can't remember where.
I'm sure I'll hate them as well.
Yeah. Right. Then going up, third team going up through the playoffs, I've got Peterborough. They always score shitloads of goals, even though they're going to lose Maddison and they've lost Jack Marriott and Graham Edwards has gone to Ipswich, and they just always find more goal scorers. So I think this year they'll do it, because they always end up somewhat up there, and I think they can't possibly defend as badly again. Second, I've got Portsmouth. Logically, I wanted to write Sunderland, but I don't trust them, so I'm going Portsmouth. And top, I'm going with, as much as I would prefer them not to, I'm going with Barnsley, because I think if they'd had a better manager, they'd have stayed up last season, and they've done okay since.
All right, well, since they did me so well last season, I've gone third, Sunderland.
Yep, you've even got them to win the playoffs, which I think is what you did last time.
Second, I also have Portsmouth. They've had a decent team for the last couple of years and got some decent players in there. So
yeah, and they've got good support and a decent budget for the level, and this is based on I could have done the minimum amount of research to check this, but I'm going to ask you because you'll probably know. Is Lee Boyer still in charge of Charlton? Yes, he is.
I have them to go up as champions.
Fair enough.
They had a good run with him last season, and having seen the interview with him talk about tactics and kind of how he's progressed into that role, I was actually really impressed. So I've got them down as my champions.
Yeah, I didn't end up going for them, but they were my playoff winners before I changed my mind. So yeah, we'll go on to we'll do well, actually, we're probably better off. We'll do the Premier League next.
I'll keep scrolling up now. There we go.
I have a feeling a few of these will be the same.
Yes.
Not all of them, but a few.
Shall I go first this time?
Yeah, go ahead, mate.
All right, so for relegation, I've got bottom of the league, Cardiff, who, despite doing a relatively good job last season of keeping up with Wolves, still played some of the worst football I've seen. Quite how they got out of the Championship, I'll never know. 19th, I have Crystal Palace, who I was just reading recently, Zaha wants out. They've not been in the best position. I know Hodgson did a decent job with them, but I think just losing someone like him could upset that team quite a lot. And 18th, I have Huddersfield.
Well, I have two of them. I've got Huddersfield bottom, because second half of last season, I know they did pick up a couple of results when they really needed them, but over the second half of the season, they were really poor at times, and it was only that really good start they had with momentum of getting promotion that carried them through, and they won't have that this year, I don't think. 19th, I've got Cardiff, and I've written in brackets next to it just Colin.
Yep, I'll go with that.
Yeah, because I don't really see... as I say, I don't think that they were good, that ability-wise they were anywhere near a promotion team, but they kind of shithoused their way through it. Which is fine. I mean, I'd have taken it if Leeds did it, but I don't think they've improved nearly enough to get through a Premier League season. And then in 18th, I've gone Brighton. I just don't think they've got enough quality. I don't think they get enough goals from the strikers. Glenn Murray isn't going to keep doing it. And they've spent a lot of money on that Aliza Jahanbakhsh from AZ Alkmaar, and signings from Holland are always a risk. You know, so for every Suarez, there's an Afonso Alves. So
it's Alfonso Alves.
So I don't think it's going to be enough.
It never quite works out very often that, recruiting a top goal scorer from Holland. For, like you say, for every Van Nistelrooy, there are a number of disaster stories as well.
Yeah. So who have you got top four? Can't see.
Top four, I've got fourth, Arsenal, returned to former glories now.
I've got the same.
I have Tottenham third.
I do not have the same.
I have Liverpool second, and Manchester City winning and retaining.
I also have Man City winning the league. I figured we'd both have that because it's hard to not say that.
It's a combination of looking at that Man City team and just realising how ridiculously good it is, hating Chelsea and Man United. It leaves you very few options.
Yeah. Well, yeah, much like you, I've got fourth Arsenal and first Man City. In third, I've got Liverpool. And one that I really didn't want to put, but I've got second, I've got Chelsea.
Ooh.
I don't think their business has been that good, but I really rate Sarri as a manager. I think he'll really get them playing, and they're not in the Champions League. So I think that their players will be better rested and stuff, because I assume they can get through the group stage of the Europa League not playing most of the main players.
Yeah.
And it really benefited Liverpool when they weren't in it. It didn't do it for Arsenal.
Yeah.
But I think Arsenal will get back into the top four because I think they've bought some good players. I think they look a lot more solid. And Tottenham haven't bought anyone. And for the first 5-6 weeks of the season, they've had a lot of players away at the World Cup who haven't had a decent pre-season. And I'm not sure they'll be able to catch up the few points I think that they're going to lose at the start. And Man United seem to be tearing themselves apart under Mourinho in terms of falling out with each other. And I just don't want them to do well. So...
Yeah, that was... it's been interesting with Man U. Mourinho, for the quality manager he is, and he's been so divisive.
Look at his career. What happens every time he's in his third season?
Yeah.
They all fall out and he's gone.
But but I think the thing is as well, like with all the other clubs, at least he normally has a couple of seasons of success before that. Whereas Man U, he did improve them, but they haven't had that success that Mourinho normally brings.
Yeah. Well, on to, for us, the main event being Leeds fans, the Championship. I'll go.
Ooh,
I shall
another
go,
season.
Yeah, I shall go first on this one. Bottom of the league, Rotherham. In 23rd, I've got Bolton. And in 22nd, I've got Hull City.
Ooh, Hull were there or thereabouts.
Hull, I think, off the top of my head, were 18th, because I think you tipped them to go up.
Yes, I did.
They weren't good last season, and they've lost about 9 of that starting 11 and not really signed enough. I mean, they brought in like Eric Lehigh and that Todd Kane from Chelsea, and that's about all I know off the top of my head. So, and their owners don't really give a shit. It's same. It's like I've got Bolton because financially they're a bit knackered, and I've got Rotherham because I just don't think the team's good enough.
What's happening with Bolton? I did see obviously a few weeks ago when the players basically said we're not playing anymore. We have not been paid. But I haven't really seen anything since then. I
don't think they're not as bad as that now. They did manage to get stuff sorted, but I can't see them doing a great deal. So Q battering us in the League Cup, but
well, I've gone for bottom of the league Millwall. That's again more in hope than that's it's very much hope than anything else.
That's heart over head if ever I've heard it.
23rd Rotherham, who I think they're over the last couple of years they've kind of gotten into that position of good League One team, probably just a little bit too small to be a Championship team, and just they kind of lack the resources a little bit. And 22nd Bolton, who, like you said, just the position they've been in over the summer is not. You don't normally see players going on strike and then pushing for the playoffs.
No.
So yeah.
Yeah, there are a few. I'm not really sure because there's always one that's like surprisingly bad. I nearly went for Ipswich.
Looking at Paddy Power's odds, they're right down there at the moment.
Yeah, I could see them, but I'm giving him the credit because he did that's where Shrewsbury's manager went, isn't it? And he did a good job last season, so I'm giving him the credit that it'll be good enough to keep him at least fourth bottom. Yeah.
I will say just before, because not everyone, they don't need to know this, but I'm going to tell them it. We're recording this after the first round of championship games, but before the Leeds game.
Yeah, we couldn't get it in until Saturday night. For what it's worth, I did write these first thing this morning, so the only game that had happened was Derby winning 2-1 away at Reading last night.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I did them last night. So
Except for League Two. Your League Two relegation that you just did.
Yeah, but that was literally worked off the odds of Paddy Power. But yeah, this was all done last night. The only result again I knew was the Derby game.
Yeah. Right. For the playoff winners from the Championship, I've gone with West Brom. The thing that worries me about picking them is that I could see they might lose a few players before window shuts. Like Sir J. Rodriguez, and
yeah,
I could see that being a problem. But when I look, I always think you're going to do well if you don't concede that many goals. And I know that they've ended up getting beat by Bolton today. But, first game of season, I'm not going to read too much into that. But they're probably, I think, once everyone's first choice, they might have a back four of Craig Dawson, Tosin Adarabioyo, Kyle Bartley and Kieran Gibbs with Sam Johnson in goal. That's a good back four.
That's a really good back line.
And then they've got, Hegazi as well and Alan Neom. They've got some good defenders. I really ummed and ahed. It was West Brom or Brentford. And I went for West Brom. I fancy Brentford to get in the playoffs this season.
Yeah, the way they played the last couple of, especially last season, they played some nice football. I think they're probably going to be there or thereabouts.
They've been top 10 every time since they came up.
Yeah. They've always seemed to have a very good midfield as well. Last couple of years when we've come up against them, their central midfield. So is it Ryan Woods that's there?
Oh, Ryan Woods is a great player. I'd love us. Me and 3/4 of Leeds' Twitter following is crying out for us to sign him. It'd be a good one. In second, I've got Middlesbrough. I think Pulis will shithouse them up in the way that Colin did last season with Cardiff. Only they've got a bit more quality. And top, I'd be very surprised if KC don't have the same Stoke. That squad's ridiculous in the Championship.
So I will say now, I have, that pretty much. I've just the order's a bit different. So I've gone Middlesbrough in the playoffs, Stoke second, West Brom as champions.
Oh, you've gone West Brom champions.
Yeah.
It's probably why they got beat by Bolton today. You probably did that.
West Brom are going down now. You've heard it here. But if I back them, they're going down. But yeah, two teams that have done pretty well. Stoke probably more so to keep that squad together. Although is it Gary Rowett that took over at Stoke?
Yeah, Rowett's the manager now.
He's a good manager to have in this level.
He is, although I still think he should have done better at Derby.
Yeah, but I don't know what it is at Derby, because clearly you look at the team they've had for the last few years, it's not just, they've underachieved massively for 4 or 5 years now. So, I don't know if that's entirely what's going on the field as well. But yeah, I think between Stoke and West Brom, I think those are your two that are probably going to pull away. Yeah,
I think that's Stoke. Some of the players they've got, which we'll come on to more before when we preview the actual game. It's a really good squad. I would have actually done these earlier, but to be honest, they're on the next page of the notes, so we'll do them now. Who have you got winning the Champions League? For Champions League, by the way, we're going to do 15 points if you get it right, 5 if we get beaten final. Same for Europa League.
Yeah, I have gone for Manchester City to win the Champions League, I think.
This is really boring, KC, so have
I. Sorry, we've not been more creative, but it's about time they did. The last couple of years, they've kind of progressed a bit further, and I don't know, it's just such a good team to look at. I don't mean in terms of the football, I mean, they're a very handsome team. Fernandinho, whoa. It's very hard to look past them.
Yeah, I just think it's such a ridiculous side. And I think that they're now good enough that they'll be able to not go too hard in the early stages and knock themselves out.
Yeah.
And this is very Anglo-centric, but I've also got Chelsea winning Europa League. I don't think they'll start going with a full-strength team until the knockout stages. But
Yeah.
like, I think they'll look better than Arsenal did last year, and Arsenal got pretty close. The thing that makes it worrying is that someone good might come third in a Champions League group.
Yeah, true. I've gone with Sevilla.
Because they're specialists.
Yeah, they've got a decent record in the Europa League.
And what is it? Spanish teams have won 9 of the last 10 European trophies.
Yeah, there you go. Spanish football's in a fairly good position right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, outside of that, again, minimal research went into that. They're like the 4th or 5th favourites to win it.
Yeah.
So yeah, take that.
Right. Well, we'll then come on to the Leeds United predictions, and I'm trying to get the number of points for each of them, but for some reason, my phone has decided. You know that weird thing where it suddenly decides that you can't access anything that's 18 plus. And I was trying to look at Odds Checker earlier, and it's crashed my internet because it's gambling.
I've got the numbers here.
All right, cool. I'll see if I remember. I believe that the first one, will Marcelo Bielsa last the season? I think he's only 5.
That's correct.
I'm going yes, because I don't think we could afford to sack him even if it goes tits up.
I've gone yes as well.
We did say that about Thomas Christensen last season, but
I think we've just got a lot invested in Bielsa, so
Yeah.
I think
even if it starts going wrong, unless we're bottom, you have to stick with it.
yeah.
Yeah, that's always a quick one. Who have you got for Player of the Year?
Player of the year, I have Pablo Hernandez. He's just, I think he's still probably in that team. Technically the best player in there. I think the attacking style of football will kind of suit him. Give him we'll probably put a lot less emphasis on him to get back and defend, and it'll just kind of allow him to do his thing up front. And even in the darkest times last season, he just still looked an absolute cut above everyone else.
Yeah, fair enough. I had a few that I was deciding between. When we brought in Barry Douglas, he went up high on my list. I did have Adam Forshaw on the list, but his injury at the start of the season dropped him down a peg. So I'm going to go with Luke Ayling. I think the way that we're playing under Bielsa with the deep midfielder / third centre back kind of floating around him, the wing backs really pushing on. It'll allow him to get forward a bit. Same for Douglas. It's one of the reasons why I thought he'd be good too. But
Yeah.
Fans love someone like him who tries his bollocks off, but he's got forward really well in pre-season, scored a couple of goals. So I fancy him to have a really good season this year.
Yeah, I'd go with that as well. It's a good shout for Luke. He's already a fan favourite as it is, and
Yeah, I think that was 15 points, isn't it?
that one is 15 points.
Yeah.
Onto the young player of the year, also for 15 points. Who have you got?
Young player, I believe, right? Leeds' young player goes up to like 23 years old, doesn't it?
Something like I think it kind of stretches depending on the number of candidates we have.
It might even turn into 24 depending on when the birthday is.
Yeah.
So for young player of the year, I've got someone who has really impressed me, and I think is going to be, looking at our squad, a really big part of the team because of the way that Bielsa plays, and I'm going for Calvin Phillips.
That's a good shout. If it does stretch that far, I'd go with Calvin Phillips.
I think that him dropping in as that third centre-back, because it's something that Leeds fans haven't really seen him do that much, I think it's going to really increase how much Leeds fans kind of respect the work he does. And because he's a bit deeper and won't quite have as much pressure on him, I think he'll give the ball away a bit less.
Yeah.
So I think this move will help him. There's quite a few I thought about, because I keep feeling like he's going to start breaking through. I was tempted to say Jack Clark because he really impressed me in pre-season, but I don't think he'll get the game time, especially now we've got Jack Harrison in.
Mm.
So yeah, Calvin Phillips for me.
Mine was very much going to be Ronaldo Vieira, who definitely it would qualify as a young player and someone who was probably going to feature most of our younger players. But since that option is no longer available, I'm actually changing mine. I'm going to come clean now and say I'm looking at the name Jack Clark. That is what I wrote down. But again, I think Game Time is going to...
Did I just talk you out of that?
No, to be honest, I kind of had the realization. I was thinking I was struggling, and then I realized that one young player that's probably going to feature regularly is Bailey Peacock Farrell. So I'm going to go with him.
Yeah, fair enough. Won it last year.
Again, in terms of the game time that younger players are going to get, I think he's probably going to be the most regularly featured player there.
Yeah. The other one I was tempted by, because he is young enough, but I don't think they'd give it to Aloni. I was tempted by Jack Harrison. He's only 21.
Yeah.
So I thought that he might have a chance, but I'll stick with Phillips. I could see us having the same thing for this. I don't know how many points.
I don't think we do.
Oh, fair enough. I'm not sure how many points top scorer is. I'm going to say 15 again.
That is 15 points.
Yeah, I've gone for the main centre forward that we've signed, Patrick Bamford. He's number 9. He's going to be leading the line most games. In theory, he should get the most chances. Just logical pick, Patrick Bamford.
I've gone for Samu Saiz.
Oh, you're back in a return to form.
Yeah, I just think again in terms of between, as of now, I'm kind of going with that lineup of Hernandez, Saiz, and Alioski as the front. The front three behind. I'll say the front three behind someone doesn't entirely make sense, but the attacking midfielders behind Bamford.
Yeah.
I
triumvirate.
think yes, and again, I think like Hernandez, he's going to be given a lot more freedom up front to kind of. He's not going to be having to drop in too often. Not that he did a whole lot anyway, but he definitely has the quality to create chances. Didn't mind taking a shot. My thinking is this season, I don't know if we're going to have someone who gets much past 15 goals, but I think we're going to have a few goals spread out amongst players. So yeah, I'm going with Samu Saiz.
Fair enough. That's the other outsider I had for young player was Ryan Edmondson, and if we hadn't signed Bamford, he would have been the guy I picked.
Yeah, because I think he probably would have. You'd have seen him coming off the bench a lot more then.
I think that if we hadn't signed Bamford and we were going in with Kim Aroof as the main centre forward, that within 6 weeks we'd have seen that. As much as I've no problems with Roof being in the squad, I think he's a good player. He's not always on form, but I think he's a decent player. But I don't think he leads the line well, and I think within 6 weeks you'd have seen Edmondson starting if we hadn't signed Bamford. So he would have been one I went for.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because he definitely jumped above Sam Dolby in the pecking order.
Yeah.
Then on to the last one, which I can't remember how I set out the points for this, Casey, so I'll let you do it.
So it is Leeds' exact finishing position. So if you get it exactly right, that's 25 points. You get 15 points if you're within one place, and you get 5 points if you're within 3 places.
Yeah, and on this one, the being out by 10 and 20 still applies.
Yes.
So I'll let you go first on this one, Casey, because it's sort of the main event of the predictions, I suppose.
I think I'm going to be the one that brings it down. I've got us finishing 8th.
Oh, fuck off. No. Get fucked. Right, I'm changing my guess.
That's a shoot right there, brother.
Right, this must be something in people's heads, genuinely. Have you ever heard of the Not the Top 20 podcast?
I've heard of it, but
Yeah.
I haven't had...
I started listening to it recently on a recommendation from someone I work with. And they had us 8th as well. But again, I listened to it about 2:30 this afternoon at work. When I'd gone 8th and they said 8th, so I thought about changing it then. And then I've come in here and you've said 8th.
I think it's a way of being positive without getting your hopes up too much, because I think we're going to be better than we were last season, but you still look at the squad, and as we kind of said earlier about the central defensive situation, we're still lacking in depth. I don't know. We spoke about it, and we spoke about it last week on the episode, and now we're kind of getting closer and closer to start. Well, the season has started for the most part, but you're looking now at our team, and I am now questioning a little bit more why Porty O'Connor went out on loan.
Yeah, well, I said the same last week, didn't I?
Yeah. I think we probably have. I think we have a strong team, but I think one or two injuries, and all of a sudden, I think we kind of we'll start to look a lot weaker.
Well, you've kind of scuppered me here. Because for all of those reasons, yeah, 8th sounds about right. But I refuse to be more negative than that. So I'm going to say Leeds come 5th.
Oh, I've pushed us up into the playoffs.
Yeah, Leeds come 5th.
Okay.
I think that we've got a strong squad. We'd be stronger if Forshaw was fit. And I just think if we could get a centre-half, a really good centre-half to play alongside Janssen once everything gets going, would be perfect. But it does appear Bielsa kind of rates Cooper, and I'm not in a position to tell him he's... Because I've always said I don't mind Cooper being in the squad, I just don't think he's good enough to be first choice all season in a promotion-winning side. But I'm willing to be proved wrong.
I don't know. Well, I do want to be proved wrong, but I don't think I will be.
Yeah.
He's a fine central defender. But...
Yeah. You may have noticed that me and Casey have also exposed one of the flaws in the logic, which is, of course, if you go lower than 4th, you cannot be out by 20 places.
Well...
But to be honest, that would mean we come bottom and we would just want to end it all anyway. So
I think it was just to stop the wild optimism.
Yeah, to stop us just saying, we're going to win it.
Sod it, we're going to win the league. Oh, sod it, this is awful, we're going down.
Yeah.
I think we are probably looking like a solid upper championship team.
Yeah.
Or it's all going to go horribly wrong. One of them.
Well, we are on to previewing the games. I'll mention this now, by the way. I just want to say thank you to everyone on Twitter. I did, for once in my life, just did the shameless self-promotion beg. And just said, hey, we're near 1,000 followers, so if a few of you could give us a follow and listen to the podcast, more importantly, listen to the podcast, but if you could share this about and give us a follow, we'd really appreciate it. And in the, 24 hours since then, we've had about 250 new followers on Twitter.
Yeah, my phone never stopped going. It was great.
Everyone that shared and everyone that followed us, I just want to say thanks very much. It was really nice.
Yeah, really appreciate it, guys. We got quite a few people asking as well about obviously where to find the podcast, and we'll get to that at the end of the episode. But yeah, it's great that people are willing to share us and people have been talking us up. It's been great to read these nice comments about us, so thank you very much.
Yeah. So even though I'm not saying we're going to get many, but it does mean that there's a chance there's a few new people. So last season we did predictions for every game on top of his pre-season predictions. We basically nicked the scoring system off the Super 6 that Sky do. If you get the result right, you get 2 points. If you get the correct score, you get 5. So we'll start off Stoke City at home on Sunday, live on Sky. You'll get used to hearing that. Got relegated from Premier League last season. I read a few things off their fans, and somehow a lot of their fans are concerned, quotes, at the lack of business conducted by the club and that they have, quotes, a thin squad. Kindly go fuck yourselves. Got the best squad in the league by a mile. Their manager's saying he might have to trim the squad down because they've got so many. They've got like 28 first-team players. It's bollocks. They have at least lost Sheridan Shaqiri and Ramadan Sobhi, who are both really good.
I know he's been injured a bit in the last couple of seasons, but just looking through that squad and when you see Bojan in the Championship.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. There are doubts over the fitness of Bojan, Benny Kafobi, Badu Njai and Eric Peters. Hopefully they're not fit enough to play because they're all really good.
It is a ridiculous team they've got for the Championship now.
Yeah, just having a little scout through. They've still got Jack Butland in goal, who, even if he is leaving, they'll pick for the game, I would assume.
Yes. Because you imagine wherever, if he does leave, he's going to be the number one. He's not going to. I don't think he's going to leave to be a number two anywhere anytime soon.
No, if I was guessing now, if I was going to have a guess right this second, I think he ends up at Everton because they sell Courtois and Pickford gets bought by Chelsea.
Okay,
that's my current guess. Start at summer, my guess was Liverpool, and then they spent 67 million on Alisson. But even if he does go, they've signed Adam Federici in as I'd say as backup. I think they're expecting him to become number one.
Yeah, good, solid championship keeper.
Yeah, plenty of good defenders. They've got, even though Eric Peters might not be fit, they've got Josh Tymon that can play left back, and he looked really good, and he's still really young. Moritz Bauer at right back was one of their more impressive performers back end of last season. Bruno Martins Indy and Ryan Shawcross is a pretty solid defensive partnership in the championship. And we've got Jeff Cameron as well backing him up, who is, I mean, he must have shitloads of caps for America.
Yeah. Bruno Martins Indy, I imagine, is still probably a Dutch international.
Yeah, there's some. They've spent $6.5 million on that. I don't know how to pronounce his first name. I'm going to say Ogenekaro Atebo. He looked decent in World Cup for Nigeria, but that's about all I've seen of him, to be honest. But he is highly rated. They've managed to keep hold of Joe Allen, which I think is a really good. That's as good as most of their signings. I don't know if he's going to play, but that Gianelli Mbula's back as well from his loan that they paid about 17 million quid for from Porto. Charlie Adams still there, but his legs have gone. He was shite last season. Darren Fletcher's legs have gone as well, but he's still decent.
His legs have gone. He's still got to move.
Yeah, but he's still all right. He's just adapted his game. It's going forward that they're quite scary, particularly with our lack of defenders, which we will come on to in a second. Tom Ince, 12 million. James McLean, 5 million. Good wingers. That's added to, they already had Choupo-Moting and Bojan. It can play attacking mid. I think they've still got Ibrahim Afellay as well, but I'm assuming he's not playing because they sent him home in March, didn't they, for being shite?
Oh, yeah.
Even though he has got plenty of talent, but he's an arsehole by the sounds of it. And then strikers, obviously, Afobe's injured, but according to our notes, we've got Mame Biram Diouf and Peter Crouch twice. I'm guessing one of them is meant to be Saido Berahino.
I was going to ask quite a bit. I don't know if you just. I wasn't sure if you just considered him such a threat that we had to put him on the list twice
against centre backs the size of Berardi.
I will say, we were speaking earlier about Hadi Sakho's Twitter game. Peter Crouch, strong Twitter game.
Strong game. He's a really nice, funny bloke.
He does live up to the reputation of a man who answers the question, "What would you be if you weren't a footballer, a virgin?"
Yeah.
He's very much carried on that vein of form through his life and into Twitter.
Yeah, he's very good. Berahino's weird because obviously he's been shite for like 2.5 years, and is an arsehole as well. But I do always get this sneaking suspicion that if I could get his head right, he'd be really good in Championship.
Yeah, there's definitely quality there. It's just ever since it's pretty much Harry Redknapp that ruined him. Harry Redknapp just go, "Come on, I'll look after you, don't worry," and then it just never happened for him, and he sat in a car for a long time, and he's pretty much been a knobhead since then.
Was Redknapp still Spurs manager when that happened?
What was it later on? No.
Sat in a car park, isn't that Peter Odemwingie?
I'm sure Berahino did something similar.
Berahino did try and get a sale when he was at West Brom. He tried to go to Tottenham.
I'm pinning things on Harry Redknapp that aren't his fault now.
Well, you know.
There's enough things he's done wrong. Just check his bank account.
Or his dog's bank account, anyway.
Yeah, sorry.
They've got a hell of a squad, but in addition to that, we did get some early team news out of Bielsa's press conference yesterday. Obviously, Forshaw's out for 6 to 8 weeks. We've talked about that. That's a massive miss.
I think that's the biggest miss for us is Forshaw.
Yeah, definitely. Peacock Farrell will start ahead of Blackman. He said that Blackman isn't as fit, and he is a real stickler for fitness. Like, he measures all the measurables, like body fat percentage and stuff all the time. But he did say that's not the only reason. And to be honest, I think Peacock Farrell's looked better in pre-season than Blackman has. Even if I think long-term, Blackman is going to be the one that gets more games.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, when you see someone who's come through the academy, you kind of hope that they can just stay in the team the whole time and keep it. That's what we'd like. But it's quite nice. I think we have genuine competition for the number one spot instead of Peacock Farrell coming in because the other two goalkeepers are too shit.
Yeah. He said Janssen will probably only be on bench because he's only been back a few days, which again, I'd probably pick him just because of the players we have available, but Bielsa is kind of hard and fast with stuff like that as a rule. Could see him coming on at half-time if we're struggling. He did say in his press conference that he's happy with the centre-back options because Phillips can play there, Ayling can play there, Berardi can play there, and he mentioned Conor Shaughnessy as well, who has been back in training, so he has seen some of him.
With Shaughnessy as well, he would definitely add some height to the defence, which if we're coming up against Peter Crouch at any point, he at least would add that height that we are missing through, with Janssen being out of the team. Because obviously if you've got Berardi in there, we saw in the Newport game last season, just any sort of cross that went in, he was completely ineffective.
Yeah. I don't think Shaughnessy will be back yet, but it shouldn't be too long. He did say, though, that if we can add another option in central defence, it would be good too. So I do think that they're looking, and it does sound like Pennington at the minute, but we'll see. Also, I forgot to mention it. Nixon from the Scummy Sun is saying that we're now the favourites to get Lucas Nemecha from Man City.
Yeah, that was interesting.
The young striker, because he's one of the ones we mentioned on the Bielsa podcast that we did in the off-season when we were talking up the link with Man City. We didn't talk. One of the ones we didn't mention was Jack Harrison, but
yeah, if we could. I don't know how many strikers we probably need now, because I can't imagine he's going to get too much game time given the money we'll have given to Bamford. Then you've got Roof, who'd probably want some game time, who I know he can fill in as a winger, but I think we'll still expect some game time. And like you say, we've got Edmondson as well. So
yeah, we'll. We know that Peacock Farrell's in goal. Are we thinking that rest of the team that it'll probably be Berardi, Phillips and Cooper as the three? Phillips might be a bit further forward as the deepest midfielder dropping in, or we might just play as an out-and-out centre-back if they play 3-3-1-3.
I think Phillips would probably be the centre-back.
Yeah, and they'll go flat-back three like they did against Las Palmas.
Yeah.
It'll be Ayling right wing-back and Douglas left wing-back. He did say all the other new signings are available and fit enough.
Yeah. Good.
Probably Click as the
linchpin.
Yeah, in the middle of the second three. And then that's where you get the options, because I'm not 100% sure Bamford will start this one because he hasn't had as much time to adjust. I could see it being Roof.
He did. Oh, he's played. He's had a bit of game time through pre-season. Then you can imagine he's probably not had much chance to see Bamford or really see how fit he is. So I could probably see that actually.
I'm going to take a shot as of now of it being Roof up front and the three behind being Pablo Hernandez, Samu Saiz, and I think Harrison will get the nod over Alioski.
Oh, you think? I'd stick with Alioski, but that's just me.
Just because he's played through pre-season, so he'll go with that for the first one.
Yeah, and I think as much as we like, we are going to set up as an attacking team. I think having Alioski in there is someone who will kind of track back and do a bit more defensive work. I think you probably want that in there as well, especially with someone like Douglas who likes to get forward. Yeah,
one of the things that I did say in that piece I wrote through it all together was one of the good things with Alioski last season was if he was having a bad game, he did kind of try and make up for it by just chasing after everything and putting tackles in. In a Bielsa system, that's not as likely to happen because Bielsa won't want him chasing back at every verse end. So it makes it more difficult for him because if he's having a bad day, he can't get away with it through sheer will.
I wonder if you could have those two in a team and almost have them rotate as the wing back and the winger.
That could well happen. To be honest, if we wouldn't have signed Douglas, I thought that before we signed Douglas, I thought that Pearce and Alioski were both going to play at least a decent number of games as a wing back.
Yeah.
And now Pearce will just be back up for Douglas.
Yeah, like I say, I think we'll probably end up seeing Pearce against Bolton, which we'll come on to.
Yeah. But this one tomorrow, Stoke away. I've got them winning league, you've got them second. What do you reckon the score's going to be?
Oh, we'll beat them 4-0, obviously. I'm going to say 1-1 draw.
I'd snap your hand off for that, by the way.
Yeah.
Opening game of season against a team this good.
That's optimism right there.
That's not optimism, Casey. Optimism is we're going to win 3-1. Now, I'm going to say now, my logic answer is that I think we will get beat 2-1. But I'm going Leeds win 3-1. Because it's the opening game of season. It's a good time to play them because they're not settled. Not everything's there. In a month, I think they'll be best team in league, but they might not be now. So I'm going to say that just being at home, crowds behind them, they will be really fit because Bielsa's running really ragged. They might be knackered at end of season and start dropping off. But I think as of now, we're probably fitter than they are. So I'm going to say that we win this game 3-1.
All right.
Next weekend, 5:30 kickoff on Saturday, because live on Sky again. Derby County away. They won 2-1 away at Reading last night, but they didn't play well. They were second best for most at game, and then they got an equaliser through Mason Mount with a goalkeeping mistake. And then Tom Lawrence scored a really good header in like the 94th minute. Obviously, they've got Lampard as manager now, which has helped them get Mason Mount, who's a really good player. And they've got Jody Morris as a coach, which we just won't talk about.
He is meant to have quite a good reputation as a coach, Jody Morris. And you just don't expect it.
I know they've been players in every verse end, but Chelsea's youth team have won pretty much everything for about the last 4 years under him.
Yeah.
They've been in a bit of trouble with financial fair play, not that you'd know it based on their business. They've brought in a few good players. They've released Darren Bent and Jason Shackle and sold Andy Vyman to Bristol, and that's about it.
It's still looking like a very strong squad here.
Yeah, it's looking like where Vidra's been, that Vidra probably won't be fit for this game, even though it's in a week, although if he is, he'll come off bench and score. They've got a bit of a Leeds connection, Scott Carson in goal. But they've got some good players, but it's... When I look at it, it's like a good team, but I don't think it's amazing.
I mean, I think if you look at the back line a little bit, you kind of... It's definitely not the fastest.
No, like
Richard
Keogh had an absolute stinker last night, by the way.
Oh, did he?
Got away with it.
It was very funny because that Derby is the last good game I remember Lasogga playing when he was just bullying Richard Keogh all game.
Yeah, when he went all with his cocaine stare. That is not me saying for any legal people listening. I'm not saying he was on cocaine. I'm saying he had the stare of a person who was on cocaine.
But Richard Keogh wasn't.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, and then Curtis Davis. Not the fastest backline. So again, there could be a time when you see more of Kemaru.
Yeah. I mean, Wisdom's got a bit of pace at right back, and Olsen has at left back. In midfield, they've got some good players, but again, not all that much legs. Like Craig Bryson's isn't. Joe Ledley's a good player, but he hasn't got much legs. Mason Mount's really good. I mean, he got something like 15 goals into Eredivisie last season.
Yeah. Tom Huddleston never been the quickest at the best of times, and he's starting to knock on a little bit now.
Bradley Johnson, same. Jacob Butfield, similar.
I really like Ikechianya.
Yeah, he's a bit of a workhorse, isn't he? He can play full back and everything. Yeah, he's a bit all over. They've got two really good wingers and attacking mids in Harry Wilson on loan from Liverpool and Tom Lawrence. Tom Lawrence is a really good player, and they've got Florian Joseph soon, who was linked with us as well. Yeah,
that was a very quick link.
I think that was purely the agent saying, if you don't give us more money, he's off to Leeds. So they gave him more money.
Leeds would just say, what? Who? All right.
Well, Leeds did make a bid, so it wasn't who.
I don't know. Could be like Football Manager where you get links with someone. I suppose I've got to buy them now.
Yeah. And then up front, they've got plenty of options. Dave Nugent, who was the one that started last night. Cameron Jerome, Chris Martin, Mason Bennett.
Fucking Jerome. He gets everywhere.
Mason Bennett came on and did well last night. He did really well last night, did Mason Bennett? He set up the winning goal. And then
it's disappointing to see that Jack Marriott ended up there, and especially for the fee. It would have been nice if we could have got him.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of his, so he's guaranteed to score in this game. Obviously, I can say the last two on this list are Marriott and Vidra, and either one of them scoring is that annoying story that always happens.
I'd be pissed off if Vidra plays.
Yeah.
It still annoys me the way he dealt with the whole thing. Is like, after 6 weeks of, I kind of realised that Derby finished above Leeds last season. Like, no, you didn't.
No, if that was why, you'd have said no 6 weeks ago.
You'd have realised Leeds weren't going to pay you 50 grand a week.
But
that was, yeah.
I think one of Marriott or Vidra is guaranteed to score, even if neither of them play, which is a weird bit. But no, I'm going to say that it's going to be a really tough one. I'm going to say we get beat 2-1.
I think we win this one. I'm going to say 1-0.
1-0 Leeds. Cool.
Solid defensive performance from Calvin Phillips.
Yeah. And then the last one before we should be back for a podcast in some way. There's also there's a small chance we might be back before this, but I'm hoping that it won't work out that way. We need to work his way through his work schedules and find out what's going to happen. But the following Tuesday night, Bolton at home in League Cup. It's the League Cup, so I'm not going to go through everything and see what they've got. They've had a big overhaul, 12 out, 10 in, financially all over stop. The main thing to talk about is what sort of team will we play and like how seriously do you think we'll take it?
I think Saka will come in, Trubisky will be in, Pennington, Click will come in. No, he'll go out.
Yeah.
I'll make a change for him. I think it'll be a very
Murphy or Kane.
I don't think there's a whole lot you can do with our defence at the moment in terms of changes. I think you probably maybe see Shaughnessy come in.
De Bock.
You might see. Oh God, forgotten about De Bock.
I'd forgotten about De Bock until just then. I think it's quite telling actually that in his press conference, Bielsa named all those players, and he didn't mention De Bock, who had played centre back in pre-season. He didn't mention Hugo Diaz either, who had an awful pre-season.
Yeah, I think it'll probably be a mix of a few of the younger players coming in. It might be, again, when we give Janssen 45 minutes just to help build up his match fitness again.
Yeah, I would hope he's back starting by the Derby game.
I think I could see him probably starting and playing most of the Derby game. I think Bolton probably just give him a first half and then get him off just to get a bit more playing time in.
Yeah.
Probably. Again, you'll see Harrison coming in. Stuart Dallas will probably come in. I think it'll be a very mixed team, and I think it'll be a poor game, and I think we'll win 2-0.
2-0. I think we will play a few youngsters. I think Clark will probably get a game. I could see with our defensive troubles, Ayling playing centre back in this one, maybe as captain, depending on who's available. And I could see Jamie Shackleton playing at right wing back like he did in pre-season, because he did really well. Yeah. John Stevens might get a little go as well. Edmondson.
I think you'll probably see quite a few of the youngsters on the bench as well.
Yeah, I'm going to go with you in that it'll be a pretty poor game.
Do we get any points if it is a poor game?
No. I'm going to say Leeds win after extra time following a 2-2 draw. But it's for 2-2 draws, the actual prediction.
All right. Yeah, fair enough.
Unless we're going to go through like 4 or 5 rounds, because Bielsa works his players so hard, it's so weird. I don't want to get to like the second round and go out. I'd rather just go out now.
We either want to get to the semi-finals or get knocked out now.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, ideally, I'll take the finals. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's especially when you're in the championship. You know, the amount of games they're going to be playing anyway. Us getting knocked out at the early stages of either this or the FA Cup. It's really not too big of an issue, I don't think.
Yeah, it bothers me more in the FA Cup than it does with League Cup. Even though the League Cup's the one that, if we're actually going to sneakily get anywhere, it's the one that's way more likely.
I mean, ideally, yes, it'd be nice to have a good run in the FA Cup, but Jesus, we've been in this division such a long time now.
Yeah.
I just want us to have some hope of getting out, and if it means sacrificing the FA Cup for a year, I don't mind.
Yeah. Well, we'll definitely call that a day, because this has been a fairly long one. Not so long that it's out of time. It's nowhere near as longest. But yeah, that'll do us for episode Looks at Notes 27. Yeah, for episode 27 of the Mighty Whites podcast, we're at Mighty Whites Pod on Twitter. We're at mightywhitespodcast.com. The stuff that we write goes up on Through It All Together, which is at THRU It All LUFC. The podcast is on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher. I've actually remembered to upload the last one to YouTube, which is the first time since about March, so sorry. I just totally forgot about the YouTube page, because it's not what I think of to listen to podcasts. So I forgot about it in terms of putting this one up. But
and if people could go over to iTunes and leave a preferably 5-star review and a comment, that would also be greatly appreciated.
Yeah, we have said before, even if you think that it's like a 3-star podcast, you might as well put 5 anyway, because what difference does it make to you? Whereas it does make a difference to us.
So fair, if you think we're only a 3-star podcast, thank you for still listening.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever really listened to podcasts and think this is fine. I'll stick with it.
Oh, I do all the time. But then again, I can have headphones in at work.
Yeah, true. I can't, because I have to listen to children complaining about things.
Well, you should let them out of the basement then.
When they're quiet, they can be.
You will also find that we often end with a weird, awkward bit. I think it's because it's over Skype, it doesn't come across as natural. I think it'll be better once he's back in the country. Anyway, thanks very much for listening. I've been Jack. I'll see you later.
And I've been Casey. Have a good one.
All right, in a bit. Bye.